Education doesn't matter. I'll make you happy.
He comforted me, a poor girl who had lost her parents in an accident. But now, he constantly berates me, saying,
Just a middle school dropout.
The man I knew back then is gone. Even my daughter easily left me. I can't forgive this. I've worked hard for my husband and daughter. To get back at them, I've decided on a certain revenge. My name is Teresa, 21 years old. My husband Dexter is the same age as me and still a college student. There is a reason he got married while in school. I lost my parents when I was in middle school. He was the one I was dating at the time. Losing my parents was hard, but I was more lost about how to live without a family. I was too depressed to focus on studying for exams. Eventually, I had to quit school due to mental and financial reasons and started working right after middle school. That's when he told me,
Don't worry, I'm here for you.
I was hesitant about not going to high school, but he said,
Education doesn't matter. I'll make you happy.
Dexter. Looking back, maybe he said it in the heat of the moment. But he kept his word and married me. After working since middle school, I quit my job when we got married. The reason was simple. I was pregnant. Pregnancy was enough reason to quit, but I also did it for my husband. He was studying hard to become a certified public accountant. A certification would expand his job opportunities and increase his salary. He often said,
I'm doing this for you and our baby.
He was so hopeful then. I wanted to support him. If he passed his exam and got a job, our life would stabilize. We'd make happy memories as a family of 3. But things didn't go smoothly. A year later, he failed the exam. He was devastated by the failure. Without discussing it with me, he decided to work for a regular company. I asked him, Are you sure you want to give up?
Give up what?
The CPA exam. You always wanted that certification. But my words seemed to infuriate him. He glared at me and yelled,
Shut up, you dropout. I don't need your pity.
Whoa, Dexter. What's wrong with you?
Don't butt in. You're too dumb. Just keep quiet and listen.
How could you say that? His attitude changed after that. He lost all kindness and compassion, constantly berating me for trivial things.
Stupid dropout. Middle school dropout. You're stupid. So just shut up.
It became his bad mood mantra. His verbal abuse escalated, even in front of our daughter.
Don't just lounge around. Get a job, dropout.
But Sarah is still young, and I need to find daycare if I was to work.
Hurry up and handle it then. Can't believe you haven't started looking yet. You're useless. There's plenty of jobs, even for idiots like you.
I'm sorry. I apologized, and he smugly turned to our daughter.
Poor Sarah, having a useless dropout for a mom.
He took advantage that she was still too young to understand his words. He spoke kindly to her and never raised a hand against her. That was my only solace. After quitting his studies, he often went out with our daughter, leaving me behind. I found a job and got busy, spending less time with Sarah. 10 years passed. It was my 35th birthday. Dexter hadn't celebrated it in years. I bought 3 cakes, hoping for a modest family celebration. I'm home. Sorry I'm late. I brought cake. But Dexter ignored me. I was used to his silence, but I sensed something was off. Dexter? I asked. He handed me something.
Right here. I've already signed it. Just need your signature now.
What? As soon as I got home, he thrust divorce papers in front of me. I couldn't comprehend what was happening. Why a divorce paper?
It's your birthday present. Be happy. Sign it already.
Oh, wait a minute. What do you mean? If this is some kind of joke, this isn't funny at all. He snorted in response to what I was about to say.
A joke? No way. You're just not needed anymore.
Not needed? What do you mean?
I only played the husband role because you were young and pretty. Now that you're over 35 and just a middle school dropout, I don't need you anymore.
How can you say that? Suddenly, I felt a gaze and looked towards the door where my daughter stood. She had heard her father's triads before, but this was different. She shouldn't hear about a divorce. I tried to remain calm and spoke gently to her. Sarah, I'm sorry. Your dad and I are discussing something important, so please, go to your room. Shut up, old lady. I was speechless at her harsh words, something I had never heard from her before. Just so you know, I don't consider you my mother. You've always neglected me for work. You're the worst. Wait, it's not like I neglected you. Oh, really? Then I wonder why it's always been Dad who took me out. That's because he chose to take you out without... What? Blaming him? Weren't you just out with other men under the guise of work? Sarah? Why would you say that? Shut up. Just leave. Wait, Sarah. Please listen to what I have to say. I said shut up. You're not part of this family. It seemed my husband had filled her with lies. Her angry, unfamiliar expression left me paralyzed. Watching me, Dexter smirked triumphantly. How did it come to this? When did Sarah start talking like this? I tried to explain multiple times, but she wouldn't listen. On my 35th birthday, I lost my place in this family. I had lived for my husband and daughter, balancing household childcare and work. Yet I faced such betrayal.
I'll give you your share of the property, but I'm taking custody. Get out of this house immediately.
I left the house reluctantly, abandoned by my husband and daughter. I couldn't stay there anymore. Later, I rented an apartment with the little savings I had. Lying on the floor, tears naturally flowed. How did it come to this?
Education doesn't matter. I'll make you happy,
he had said. I'd been ridiculed for my education before, but never by my own family. Unforgivable. I couldn't let it end like this. I was determined to prove him wrong, my tears turning into resolve. The days that followed were a whirlwind. My first goal was the high school equivalency exam, then college entrance. Working while attending college, I chose a distance learning program. Thankfully, I never hated studying. But college wasn't my end goal. I aimed for the CPA certification that my husband had failed. Can it really be this hard? How do I even answer these questions? The exam was daunting, but I read advice and stories from professors and those who had passed. Despite feeling like giving up many times, I was determined to outdo him. I wouldn't lose. After 4 years of relentless study, I passed the national exam. 3 years later, after various work experiences, I was finally hired at the consulting firm I'd aimed for. Hi, I'm Teresa. I'm looking forward to working with you all. There, I saw someone looking at me in shock.
Teresa? Why are you here?
Oh, long time no see.
No way. You can't have that qualification.
He approached me, visibly shaken.
How did you cheat your way in?
Cheat? I just studied and passed the exam. That's why I'm here.
But you're just a
middle school dropout. Is that what you want to say? Then a supervisor who seemed to have overheard intervened.
Dexter, do you know Teresa?
Caught off guard by his boss's sudden appearance, my ex-husband pointed at me and blurted out.
She's lying about her background. Boss, she's faking her credentials. Faking her credentials? Because she's just an uneducated middle school dropout.
The boss shrugged, looking perplexed.
What are you talking about? She graduated from college, got her certification, and has experience. She's a former student of an acquaintance of mine. There's no mistake. That can't be. And how do you two know each other? Well,
Frustrated with his evasion, I decided to speak up. We used to be married.
What?
Ignoring his wide-eyed look, I continued. Yeah, we used to. He served me divorce papers on my 35th birthday, said he didn't need a middle school dropout old lady anymore.
He did that?
Yes, well, it's true I was a dropout. But thanks to that, I was motivated to prove him wrong, study hard, and eventually get my certification. Now, I'm actually grateful for it. Not just the boss, but also the other employees who heard the conversation were visibly shocked. At that moment, I was sure everyone's perception of my ex-husband changed. From then on, he was looked at differently in the office. I heard he called his ex-wife Teresa an uneducated old lady.
Seriously?
Honestly, Teresa is more competent at work than Dexter.
Totally. Dexter acts tough with juniors, but he's not that great at his job.
Hearing these comments about himself, Dexter couldn't stand the office atmosphere and resigned the next day. He had always ridiculed others for being dropouts, but when the tables turned, he couldn't handle it. I couldn't help but find it pitifully amusing. This marked the completion of my revenge on my ex-husband. Not long after, my daughter Sarah came to see me. She must have gotten my address from her father. Now, a college student, she shook my shoulders and blurted out, "Mom, let me live with you." I looked at her coldly and asked, "Why?" "Why? Because Dad quit his job after you joined his company. It's your fault. Take responsibility." What are you talking about? I just got a job using my qualifications. I didn't inconvenience anyone. You've got to be kidding. Because of you, Dad had to quit. And now, he's unemployed. How are you going to pay for my college tuition? I was utterly disappointed by her lack of apology, despite everything that had happened. I can't believe I had wasted my time as a mother for such a child. She hadn't changed a bit, just like her father. Taking a deep breath, I faced her and said firmly, "Honestly, I don't care about you." What? What kind of mother says that? A mother, huh? What are you talking about now? You chose to go with your father, remember? You said, "You're not part of this family." You said that to me. But I was just a child back then. I didn't understand. Now you're a grown-up, a college student. Yet you still can't comprehend right from wrong? Can't even apologize? I have no obligation to help an unreasonable daughter. I quit being your convenient mother. You're no longer my daughter.
Wait! Mom!
Ignoring her tearful, pleading eyes, I walked away. I haven't seen her since then. She kept contacting me, but I never replied. Overwhelmed by her unemployed alcoholic father, she eventually left home and dropped out of college. Now, she is drifting from place to place, doing odd jobs to get by. This experience must have taught her the hardships of earning money and the struggles of adult life. I hope she learns from life's injustices and grows on her own. Meanwhile, I've been doing well in my current company. Got remarried 2 years later to a kind, younger man I met through work. We were blessed with a child, and I recently took maternity leave. Despite the challenges of being an older mother, the joy outweighs them. This happiness with my new husband wouldn't have been possible without my past. In a way, I'm thankful for it. No matter how terrible the past, with effort, one can always change the future for the better. Having experienced this firsthand, I can now confidently say so. I look forward to building a wonderful life with my husband and our child.